And you said at the beginning, there's a sickness in our industry. We really need to get down to the core of this.
It's a weird conundrum, because when I've studied cases of business, like in my business law classes, we studied real cases of litigation between business scenarios. Okay, I've never seen an industry that is so I hate to use this word, but it's so molested with oddities. People that are in this industry, they start out as a hobby a lot of times, like myself, okay, or they start because they love the art of the industry, and they want to learn a craft. I mean, because essentially it's a craft. Until you get to the point where you're doing it like we've done it, it's not a craft anymore, it's a job. I think what's happened is that there's such small benign intricacies that happen through the natural fruition of development of a person that it's kind of created this cancer inside the industry that nobody even recognizes until it's too late, and you either shut down or you fall down just about to collapse from working so hard.
Yeah, well, I think the most important part is getting from that point of hobby to actual business, recognizing that that's what you're doing, like you just said, and finding, writing out an actual business plan, making sure that you realize that, I think that there are so many cake decorators out there that are stuck in that in-between phase, and they can't seem to get to that next step, and it's really bringing the whole industry down.
Well, and it's very interesting because cake has changed even since I started doing this in 2005. From 2005 until 2010, just in that period, a lot of things changed. We had cake on TV for the first time. Duck did a great job. I think he did a very good job about giving insight to the general consumer about what a cake, what the process is to produce a custom designed cake. I think he did the best job of any show on TV. Food Network Challenge really was the first show that the consumers had insight to, and then we had Amazing Wedding Cakes and Extravagant Wedding Cakes. But it's so edited and so manipulated, and even Next Great Baker, you don't even know like what actually happens. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with TV, okay? I said I wanted to be famous for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't care. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be known for what I said in this next career. I wanted to be known for what I do. I want to leave a mark. Well, I'm leaving some marks, and they're leaving red spots. And that's okay, all right? I'll leave a mark however I can. But we don't have a good, the general consumer. Educating your consumer, I think, is the beginning of this process. Because I think the consumer has been so misled in what we do that they can't, and they don't mean anything by this. That's the problem. They don't mean, I want a cake. I want this. I get this all the time. I want a 3-tier cake to serve 40 people. Okay, I'll stack 3 cupcakes on top of each other and send it to you, and you can divide it however you see fit. Because a 40-person cake is not going to be 3 tiers. People, stop pricing by the tier, by the way. Our industry standard here is by the serving. It is an industry standard. Wilton set that standard many, many, many years ago, and it's really the only thing that we could use to back up if we ever had a dispute. If we use that industry standard, a 2x2x1 or a 2x4x1 serving size for a wedding cake and a 2x2 square for a party cake, that's printed. That's an industry standard that has been printed and tried and true for many, many years. There's charts out there that are published that you can use. Pick your chart, but stick to it, because you can defend that with a client. See, and that's educating your client. And if you educate your client from the very beginning, and you know who your client is from the very beginning, that's the problem. You guys are taking anything you want. Anything that comes through the door, you take it. All business is not good business. It's not. I mean, I had a girl yesterday. I did a tasting with her. We did the cost accounting on her cupcakes that she was charging. She was charging $2.50 for a cupcake. I know she's on here, and I love you, but I'm using her as an example. I'm not going to call your name out. You know who you are. I'm not above calling names, but I'm not going to. I'm keeping it classy today. We're in church. So, we're CakeFu church.
If that's right.
So this is the thing we realized. She was giving a 2 dozen cupcakes. She was paying her client $5 to take her cupcakes after we did the cost accounting.
Mm.
She was, listen to what I'm saying to you. We legitimately, she used Cake Boss as her software. We plugged in the numbers. When we really plugged in the numbers, and we paid her $10 an hour, by the way, and that wasn't enough. I think it was 10 or 12. That's not enough. If you are a skilled decorator, you need to be making $15 to $18 an hour, especially if you're doing custom cakes. Absolutely. And I really think 20 to 22 is more legit, because supermarket decorators make $12 to $15 an hour, $11 to $15 an hour on average, to just ice borders and ice cakes. You know what I mean? So if you're doing custom work, you really should be making 18 to 20. So she was really losing more because she's good. She has a very good product. She was also making it from scratch. This is not to hurt anybody's feelings, because we are all very personal about our recipes. But let's just pause for a second and talk about that. Scratch cost. These people already aren't willing to pay for custom work. You are not if you're a custom wedding cake designer or a custom cake designer, and you're producing custom cupcakes and cake pops and custom cookies especially that are very labor intensive, and custom celebration cakes, and you are making you're making it from scratch, or if you're using a mix as your base. It's no secret, people. Everybody in this industry uses the mix. It's no secret. I'll get to that in a second. But if you are, the way people are thinking here is, Amelia, they think that they're competing with their supermarkets.
That's absolutely.
The consumer thinks they're competing with the supermarket. They're not going to the supermarket because they can't get what they can get from a custom cake designer. Well, what comes along with a custom cake that they can't get at the supermarket is a custom price. It's a luxury, and that luxury has a price on it. It's luxe, and if you want a luxury item, you have to pay a luxury price, or go to the supermarket. But guys, you are not competing with the supermarket. You're not competing with them. That is not who you're competing with. And for you, let's just
take a breath.
Look, I have my favorite recipes that I absolutely love. I love them. We all do. But if you think that you are arrogant enough that you can create something that Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker and Pillsbury has spent millions and millions of dollars doing taste tests and marketing tests and quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis on the same consumers that you are selling to, if you think you are arrogant enough to provide something better at a cost savings that is cheaper than a supermarket, you are a fool.
You know, if you're going to be doing anywhere near supermarket prices, you can't do scratch at all. There's no possible way.
Thank you for reiterating that, because I know this, and I'm so passionate about it because I hear that on a daily basis. My buttercream's the best. No, it is not. Your buttercream is damn buttercream, okay? It's buttercream. It's butter and sugar and vanilla and what. Don't give me that crap. I'm not laying the eggs that I'm putting in my cake. I'm not refining the sugar. I mean, I'm not producing the oil. Give me a freaking break, y'all. Get over it. By the way, you're taking so much risk when you're using from a scratch. Like right now here in Tennessee, we're expecting like 6 inches of snow tonight and ice. And when you're baking from scratch, your sugar, your flour, everything is affected by the humidity, the atmosphere, your oven. Everything is affected. And to get consistent, Those mixes have been formulated to be consistent for the novice. And what you do as a custom cake baker, designer, decorator, whatever, you take that base and you turn it into something special. All right? That's what you're charged with doing.